All right, today we are talking about two-step equations. This is the beginning of chapter 2. We have to do inverse operations when we are doing this. All right, inverse kind of is like opposite. So the first thing we want to always do is undo any addition or subtraction. So we're going to undo addition and subtraction. How do we undo them? We do the opposite. So if it's already addition, we do the opposite and we subtract. If it's already subtraction, we do the opposite and add. Then we undo multiplication and division by doing the opposite. All right. Hopefully this is a review for us. Hopefully we learned a lot of this in pre-algebra last year. If not, that's okay. We're going to go through several examples. First one, x over 2 plus 5 equals 11. All right, the best thing to do to stay organized, and you're going to see me do it, is we put a line down here. This line just kind of keeps the sides of the equation separate from each other. Our goal is to get isolated x or get x by itself. So the first thing we need to do is undo addition and subtraction. So for this one, it's plus 5, so we do the opposite. We want to get rid of this 5, so the opposite of adding 5 would be to subtract 5. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. When we do that, we get x over 2 equals 6. Notice this cancels out. We don't need to put that 0 there. The second step is we still don't have x by itself. In order to get x by itself, we have to get rid of this 2. So we do that by multiplication. Since fraction means division, we do the opposite. So we multiply. So the 2's cancel out. We're left with x equals 12. Always circle our answer. And that's the first one. If we want to check that, we could just plug 12 back in to the equation. Substitute 12 in for x and then find out what it equals. 12 divided by 2 is 6 plus 5 is 11. It would work. Another example. 7x minus 4x equals 21. All right, so this one's a little different. It has two variables. It has two variables, both 7x and 4x. So we're not going to we have to simplify like terms before we start moving things. So 7x minus 4x is 3x. So now we have 3x equals 21. How do we get rid of this 3? Well, this is connected through multiplication, so we're going to divide by 3. Oops, I forgot to put my line. X equals 7. I'll just use a different color so we can stay organized. 5x plus 9 equals 24. First thing we have to do, we want to get our variable by itself. So we're going to get rid of this 9. So we're going to subtract 9 from both sides. This cancels out, so we have 5x equals 24 minus 9 is 15. Divide by 5. X equals 3. This is solving equations, guys. Solving equations. Okay, I'm going to read a problem to you. It says the output of a function is 3 less than 5 times the input. So it says the output is 3 less than 5 times the input. Okay, so, and then the last part says find the input when the output is 17. So let's see this. The output means y. So it's saying y is 3 less than 5 times the input. So the input would be x. So when it says the output is, so we're going to say y is, that means y equals. So the output of a function is 3 less, so that means it's going to be something minus 3, than 5 times the input. 5 times the input would be 5x. 3 less than 5x. So there's our problem here. To solve this problem, it said, well, then the question says find the input when the output is 17. So if the output's 17, I'm going to rewrite this problem. 17 equals 5x minus 3. Now we have to solve this problem. So notice the variable's on the right side this time. Doesn't matter which side, we're still going to get it by itself. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. 17 plus 3 is 20. This cancels. So we have 20 equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5. 4 equals x, or x equals 4. The proper way to write it would be x equals 4. This is fine. Another one similar to this would be the output is -2 times the input and 5. The output is -2 times the input and 5. So for that problem, let's use green. So the output is -2 times the input, so -2x and 5, or the sum of -2x and 5. And then it wants us to solve it when the output is 11. So we're going to substitute 11 in here. First step would be to subtract 5 from both sides. We'll have to 6 equals -2x. Divide by -2. And I know it's kind of hard for you to see, but that's going to say it says x equals -3. -3. And like I said, I know it's a little hard. It might be a little hard for you to see. All right, I'm going to read this one to you, and then I'll give you a chance to kind of process it. It says, a scuba diver descends into deeper water. The pressure of the diver's body steadily increases. The pressure at the surface of water is 2,117 pounds per square foot. So at the surface, it is 2,117 pounds per square foot. The pressure increases, so it's going up at a rate of 64 pounds per square foot. So as you go down the water, the pressure is increasing. We're just going to put that as 64x. Okay? Because it's increasing by 6, and x would stand for the number of feet. Find the depth at which the diver experiences a pressure of 8,517 pounds. So we want to know, when's it going to be 8,517? So an equation for this, and I'll just kind of write it up here, would be the pressure would be 64 times the number of feet, right? Because it's going to increase by 64 pounds per foot, plus 2117. Remember, that's where you started at. You didn't start at 0. This is where the pressure is at the top of the water. And then it's increasing 64 pounds per foot. So we want to know when it will be 8,517. So we're going to substitute that in. So now we just need to solve for our variable. Subtract 2117 from both sides. This would be 6,400 equals 64x. Divide by 64. X equals 100. So what does that mean for this problem? You would be 100 feet below the water to have pressure at this level.